I'm starting this over again and I'm just going to go for it. So hopefully it's not too awkward. But I'm here today to do my, I'm going to try not to use my hands as much, translated, books that were translated in 2020, like what I'm excited about video. Basically, us at the Invisible Cities project group. I will link the Discord below if you want to come and hang out with us. It's very exciting. Lots of people are joining. I mean, not like tons and tons, but there's people there and it's very exciting. We're starting in January. Anyways, gosh, what was I gonna say? We've created a list of books that were translated, like new publications that were translated in the year 2020. And so we're just kind of each talking about a few books that we're interested in, that we didn't read, that we'd like to have read, etc., etc. The list is long. There's like a roughly 200 books on the list of things that were published for the first time in the year 2020. So, as you can imagine, I did not go through and look at every single book because, y'all, ain't nobody got time. I've got other things that I'm trying to do that are much more pressing. I made space for my Christmas tree, which is behind my computer, and I need to, decorate, and that is more important to me. And, like, actually finishing my indie press project book for this month, also really important to me. So I just kind of like randomly picked a bunch of books. There's only one title on the list that looked familiar to me, and I do own that book, so that's the first one I'm going to talk about, and I guess I should have grabbed it. I bought this in the month of November, and I bought it for our like book club that we kind of do. I think Natalie from Curious Reader is the one who picked the book, but it is Breasts and Eggs by Mieko Kawakami, and this is a Europa edition, and it is translated by Sam Bett and David Boyd. I'm kind of irritated. I'm very excited. It was this month's book, and it's the 29th, so obviously I did not read it, nor am I going to before the end of the month, but I'm going to plan on reading it because it's Japanese. I'm going to, I don't know what the gender of this person is. She. Okay. It is a lady. She is Japanese, so I'm going to save this and read it in January, and I literally have no idea what this book is about, but I am really irritated because there's a quote from Haruki Murakami on the front, and it's just like, I don't care or need that. I mean, I love Haruki Murakami, don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those haters, but I don't need it on the cover of my book. I hate it when they do that. Put the quotes on the back so that I don't have to look at it. Like all the other quotes around the back, it just ruins this beautiful book. But anyways, I guess I probably should have looked up what this book is about before I started doing this. I looked up what all the other books are about. I don't know why I'm intrigued. I mean, the word breasts is in the title, so it's got to be at least mildly entertaining. Then I'm going to insert pictures for the rest of the books. I have Harmada, I don't know, by Joao. It's going to be so embarrassing. This whole video, I didn't look up translation or pronunciations for anybody's name. Joao Gilberto Noll. It's a Portuguese, or I guess a Brazilian author. So it's translated from the Portuguese by Edgar Barbeletto, and this is translated by Two Lines Press, who, I don't know what I just tried to press, but that wasn't the right thing. And so Two Lines Press is, we did that for our indie press project already. It's one of the ones I didn't do a review for. But anyways, I don't know much about this. The cover looks beautiful, and it says on the front that he is a hero of Brazilian literature, and I don't actually think that I've read anything by any Brazilian authors, which is embarrassing. I'm realizing I have a lot of holes, okay? A lot of holes in my knowledge. But yeah, I don't really know, again, a ton of this. I just kind of picked books. But, it says in the little description, and I will link all of these books that I'm talking about down below too, so you can look at the website and stuff as opposed to just me talking. But it says that it traces the life of a nameless man on a voyage that takes him from aimless outcast to revered director of avant-garde theater, from asylum patient to father to God, conjuring along the way essential questions about the power of art in storytelling, The Vanity of Glory, which I'm the most interested in because I love vain, horrible characters, and The Meaning of Freedom. I don't assume this is going to be a horrible character, but I love it when that kind of stuff is like discussed. So I am excited about that. This next one I picked because the cover is absolutely beautiful, and that is Marlene by Philippe Gian. And I don't know where this author is from. That's so awkward. I guess I should have looked that up too. It's translated by, oh God, is that Jake coming home? Biscuits. By Mark Polizzotti. That sounds kind of Italian. I'm very confused. Okay, French, possibly French. But don't quote me on that. I will look it up. Maybe I should make like a goal that like since these are the books that I picked, I should just like get them and then try to read them at some point next year in like a month. I'm gonna do that. So I can come back to this video and let you guys know how the books were. But this shows we're following two men, Dan and Richard, who were soldiers in Yemen, Iraq, and Afghanistan, and so they come home to the U.S. So I guess it takes place in the United States, which is not ideal, but that's okay. And it kind of shows the way the two men. Baby, I'm filming a video, so just ignore me. Did you hear me?
I thought I was supposed to ignore you.
Okay, yeah, keep ignoring me. Get out of the room. So anyways, I'm sorry. One of the men. Yeah, sure. One of the men kind of like keeps his head down and doesn't like try to cause a stir. He doesn't want to be like that classic veteran. And then the other guy just like does whatever he wants and is like very chaotic. So that sounds really interesting to me. I'm not a huge like fan of war is not the right word. Soldier stories or stories about that kind of thing. But I did read a Kurt Vonnegut book earlier this year, and it talked a lot about Vietnam veterans when they came home and how the general public reacted to them. And ever since then, I feel a lot more like it is a much more complex. I think, much more judgmental before. I'm still judgmental because, let's be honest, I'm a human and I'm judgmental. But I feel like I can appreciate a lot more, like that there's a lot more nuance to these lives of these people than I think that maybe I like. Not that I didn't think about that at all, but I feel like I would like to think about it more, if that makes any sense. All right, so the next one that I have is, this one I really want to read. It's called The Highly Unreliable Account of the History of a Madhouse, and it's by Ayfer Tunç, translated by Feyza Howell. I think this is Turkish, but don't quote me on that. But this looks so good. So it takes place like in a mental health hospital, and I think the whole book takes place in like a very short period of time. But yeah, with that title, I can't not try. But it says the reader travels through time and space to 1865 and back again between the Caucasus, Ottoman, and Republican Turkey, Europe, and the USA through wars, reform, riots, and coup d'etat. So, or coups d'etat. I don't know. Maybe there's more than one. There's no article in front of it. That's okay. So yeah, I'm really, the word madhouse alone grabs me, doesn't it? Then I have The Garden of Monsters by Lorenza Pieri. And this is Italian, of course, and it is translated by Liesl Schillinger. And this takes place in southern Tuscany. And that's all I really need to know. It looks like it's another, it's two men and their wives, and kind of showing, relationship. I'm a fan of relationships and people interacting with each other and that kind of a story, because I feel like it's so complex and complicated, the way humans are and the way we interact with others. And so those are like the kind of books that I gravitate towards, the ones where people are like having some kind of turmoil and they have to talk to their loved ones and things are not necessarily like peachy keen. Basically, I like a fraught story. I don't like smiles and giggles. Then the next one that I have is Warning to the Crocodiles, and this is exciting. I think this is the same publisher that published Monster Human that I never finished. I haven't been saying the publishers of any of these two. I apologize, but I will link them all below. This is Dalkey Archive Press, and it says Portuguese Literature Series, which is why I think that it might be the same publisher, and I apologize, I'm talking super, super fast. So this is Warning to the Crocodiles, Jake, by Antonio Lobo Antunes. I don't know how to, Portuguese, I don't know how it's supposed to sound. It's translated by Karen Sotelino. And yeah, I don't know much about this either, but it's in the aftermath of the Carnation Revolution of April 25th, 74 in Portugal. And I know nothing about Portuguese history either. I don't know much about any kind of history. But there's some stuff in here that made me really, really intrigued, and it says, told through the memories of 4 women who spend their days fashioning homemade explosives and participating in the kidnap and torture of communists. The novel details the clandestine activities of an extreme right-wing Salazarist faction resisting the country's new embrace of democracy, which sounds really interesting. Probably a little too real, but what are you going to do since the whole world is turning fascist, apparently? Sorry, I read an article recently. Anyways, okay, so then I've got Holiday Heart by Margarita Garcia Roballo. Is this Colombian? Okay, so this is Colombian immigrants that moved to the United States, and I think that has to do with them trying to conceive and have children, and again, another relationship kind of story. I'm not a huge fan either of immigrant stories for some reason. I feel like I don't know, it makes me feel a certain way that is not super great inside. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of how these people are treated, or I don't know. But it makes me feel not super, super great, which is funny. I'm wearing my Daughter of an Immigrant shirt. But yeah, I don't know. They make me uncomfortable sometimes just possibly because of that. I don't know. But it has to do with marriage kind of having some kind of fraught, tense situation. They just happen to be immigrants from Colombia. Again, another one set in the U.S. on accident. That's kind of disappointing. And the last one that I have, this video is longer than I expected it or anticipated it to be. It's Tropic. Was that even grammatically correct the way I spoke? Okay. Tropic of Violence by, wow, I really don't know how to say this. Natasha. It's Natasha. Apana, translated from the French by Geoffrey Strachan. And this has to do with a nurse in a far-flung tropical department of France in the Indian Ocean. And she adopts a child, and then who's abandoned by his mom, who's a refugee. And so she takes care of this kid, and I don't think that she tells anyone. It makes it seem like she's keeping this secret, and then she dies, and then this kid doesn't know what to do. It says he's 13 when she dies, and so then this kid is just stranded, and what happens? Who knows? Oh my gosh, this is really a mess of a video. So yeah, those are the books that I've picked kind of at random. I picked a kind of a big list. I picked 15-ish books, and then I kind of whittled them down to the ones that I was most interested in, because there was literally no way I was going to go through 200 books. I'm not sure if we're going to post those. I think there's a spreadsheet involved in this project as well. And I'm not sure if the list of all these books is going to be on it. I'm going to ask Yamini, and I will clarify. But yeah, if there's any 2020 translated new releases that you read that you think are really, really good and want to recommend, please let me know in the comments. I do want to read more. Oh my God, this woman is literally... I'm filming a video. I'll call you back in a second. Sorry, I'm saying that because she's going to watch this video and then laugh probably. So... yeah, if there's any books that came out in the year 2020 that were newly translated, let me know. I want to be better about reading new releases, specifically from translated and from indie presses, because I feel like those are the places that, again, we live in a capitalist society, and that's where I want to be putting my money. I don't want to be buying these things that I bought so many things that I did not need to recently, but that's okay. All right. Hope everyone is well. I will talk to you guys later.